It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. For their details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Read reviews and listen to shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Wayne Miller.
This is It's Movie Time. Wayne,
John.
As we're recording the day before your big birthday.
Yes.
What a great guy. So glad to have had you around for those years.
Thank you. I'm just glad to be here.
The lady in the van. Now, is this just another bag lady story?
No, I don't think so. I can relate to this lady. Just kidding. We start with the mystery. You know, there's a car accident. Her windshield is cracked and bloodied, and she drives away from some policeman who had followed her, and you don't know. And it looked like somebody, could be of means. She's, nicely dressed. She's in a nice van.
A younger woman at this point.
Yes, yeah. Several years before the gist of the story.
Yeah.
But not that long before that, because when we next see her, when she's parking her van in front of these homes on this crescent, and since both of us have been to London a number of times.
It's Camden Town.
Yes.
Kind of upscale place
Yes.
in northern London.
Very nice. Interesting upper middle class families living there. They must have some law that or a lack of a law. It's okay for people just to kind of squat and park their cars in front of these houses, and that's when we next see her.
I think the neighbors have been indulgent.
Yeah.
She moves it every now and then, but she is out on the street, and there would be speculation that all these liberals are trying to make recompense for being bad kids, so they let her feel bad and let her stay there.
But what's funny? For the most part, they're very nice about it, and they're very naive. I enjoy that. I always enjoy the secondary characters of any type of movie.
But we need to establish.
Yes.
This is Maggie Smith's vehicle.
Yes.
I mean, there is no other reason to see this than to see Maggie Smith, although Alan Bennett, the writer,
yes.
is a character because he created out of what happened to him when she parked herself for 15 years in his driveway.
Yes, yes. And I think his character was very good, and particularly when he has these interior monologues with himself, and you see both. What he called it, the one was the writer, the other one did the living.
Yeah, and so I saw it in London in 1999, and at that time you weren't able, of course, to have the same actor playing the dual characters on stage, so it was a bit more restrictive. But it does make at least the beginning of a comment on the split personality, I suppose, of any writer.
Yeah.
One part of his character has to live, the other has to write. Mm-hmm. And so you see that tension in the film, but you couldn't in the stage production. But and Alan Bennett was already a famous writer. He had done the History Boys.
And also a favorite of mine that I thought was quite good, The Madness of King George.
Yes, and the same director, Nicholas Heitner.
Yes.
So it has a really good provenance. And so in the course of this film, Maggie Smith is able to do her curmudgeonly, she's 80 years old. I don't know how old the character is, but she does.
Well, she must have aged somewhere between possibly mid-60s or late 60s into her 80s there, but good grief. How could somebody stay alive in such filth,
malodorous.
Yes, I know.
Oh, God.
You can almost smell her from the screen. And she does an excellent job, and I think this movie would definitely appeal because Maggie Smith, the past few years, has been a hot commodity because of Downton Abbey. And her curmudgeon role of the dowager of the family.
Right, she's a countess in Downton Abbey.
And it just funny as all get out, and with her one-liners that she's very good. People who appreciate her in that, or anybody who's appreciated her long career on stage and in movies and TV, would appreciate this movie. I think she does a marvelous job. I kept looking at her though and picturing Yoda You know, the bulgy eyes, you know, the wrinkled face.
You know, one of the things that interested me in this film was that having come off, say, of History Boys, which is filled with repartee and smart aleck commentary and allusions and so on, I didn't find that in this.
Well, you know, Rich, seriously, I did. Especially with the two twin sides of Alan's character. But also I thought, you know, some of the lines were very funny and very witty. I thought that
Yeah.
I'd solved that. I like that.
Without a doubt, you're right in those moments when you have them.
Right.
I just expected more. I expected much more repartee. I expected much more dialogue. But of course, this is a film, and they're going to be showing her painting her car. They're going to be showing neighbors. They're going to be showing, and I think you're quite right. Some of the best dialogue is between the two parts of Alan Bennett's personality.
You know, now that I think about it, there could have been more that could have been done between her and the neighbors, and himself and the neighbors. And I think one character that, even though he got, you know, I think third billing in the movie, Jim Broadbent, I thought his character was really underused.
Oh, he's a favorite of mine. And
there could have been more. He was the police officer who saw her right after this accident that you find out what has happened later. And he pops up later on stopping by her van, and she's slipped some money, and he's basically been blackmailing her.
I know, and I love Broadbent, and I was so disappointed at how limited. Now, you don't know what's been edited out in his case, but he is given third billing, and I looked for much more from him.
I did too. I was really surprised.
The lady in the van. Wayne Miller, we have to apply a grade to this now. She's an educated lady, so she would be sympathetic here to our job.
Yep, and I enjoyed, the one thing I wanted to say before the grade, and that is how the movie began. I really like classical music, and during the opening credits, a young lady being as part of an orchestra playing the piano, and it ends with that too, so it's kind of like a full turn because you find out the young lady is her, you know, and her musical talents and everything. And I think with, it was a pleasant way to spend a Sunday afternoon with an appreciative crowd. It was a good-sized crowd at the Drexel, and I want to point that out. It's at the Drexel, and probably a good-sized crowd of people around my age who seem to enjoy it. So I'm going to give it a B.
Good. And Kevin, the manager, whom we will have been on by the time this airs, in Bexley, with our little Oscar show. And Kevin will be on the panel with us.
Okay.
So he has promised me that I know. Look at you.
Well,
this show is airing on Friday.
Yes, and our panel is on Wednesday. Thinking, okay,
Time
you
warp.
should send him. After you edit this.
I told him I will.
Yeah.
But Kevin has promised me it'll be on for 3 weeks. He's contracted for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, good.
The Drexel is going to be going through some renovations and won't be showing some films for a while.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Where are you going, Kevin?
let me remind everybody.
We beat around the path to get to our grades.
The film is The Lady in the Van. It stars Maggie Smith. Wayne has awarded it a solid B, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to follow my buddy right down that line. It is a B movie for me, too.